Hey guys, this is SF and welcome to Rant Top Sundays. This week it is 47 Ronin and I'll be using relatively OP monsters. And well, it's Ronin and it's easy peasy. But lots of stuff came in last week or this week, depending on when you're watching. But let's start with NA, and that is the Three Kingdoms number 2. There is a Three Kingdoms number 3 in JP right now, but it's coming out pretty much on the same time as the current series, the event series of Old to Winter. And hopefully people will not get overloaded with all this stuff going on, because that's my biggest concern. Because one reason the Korean server kind of fell is because they were going too fast. I think I pretty much said this before, but they're going relatively fast for the players to handle, and of course the players kind of dropped off because too many stuff going on and they can't do anything about it. And I'm just missing the hell onto Ognamu X. But Three Kingdoms, Cao is probably the prize of the Hatcher, and Zhou. I'm really bad with Chinese names, even though I'm Chinese. It's relatively okay. Like, you can bring him to Avalon, and he's a very good Avalon monster. And just because he has a recovery as well as he has the recovery, basically that's the only reason why he's really good. And the weak spot, weak point, and strike shot is also really good. I think it increases to ×5 instead of ×3. So it works very well with Yamato Takeru, like those types of monsters, because you can deal more damage. Deal all the damages. And somehow I am missing all these pots. Okay, there goes the boss. And there goes the Scorpion. I didn't get the heart. Whoop-de-doo. And then Valkyrie announced for late December along with Ralph. Valkyrie is a very good monster in my opinion, but it just has a giant skill cap in her kit, because both her bump combos are really damaging, really high power, but it requires you to think, position, angle yourself, because the tag laser is relatively hard to control, and the wave is relatively hard to control as well. And most of the time you cannot deal, basically, most of the time you won't be able to get both off unless Valkyrie is like right at the grill of the boss, and the boss is relatively huge. So you can bring her, but it's gonna be really hard. I almost beat Hawkwa with her, so that's something, I guess, because Hawkwa is relatively hard if you don't bring the right monsters. I wouldn't say Valkyrie is a very good monster in general for that dungeon, but not that bad. The strike shot's really good as well if you have the room and space and all that stuff. Okay. Second stage, and I'm low on health. This dungeon is relatively hard without a recovery monster. And the only no gravity bear recovery monster I have is Merlin, which is not great. And I'll save the Ognamu strike shot, although I missed her shot relatively badly. Okay. Let's strike shot Valk for one time. Destiny Venus. Almost there. Not bad. And Ruff is going to be really crazy OP for the end game. But you know, Christmas is almost here. I'm pretty sure they have something really cool for Christmas. Hopefully something new, hopefully something different. But you never know. But last year's JP Christmas is Noel. So there's a light Noel and then a wood Noel. And then there's also a red Noel. There's 3 different types of Noels, and the red one is the most powerful one, but it's a little bit special in that of her condition for a dungeon. So you can enter red Noel through the wood or the light Noel, but you have to bring a fire no damage wall monster in your team. And anywhere on your team. It's kind of like Oregon with Fenrir and Fenrir X. And the dungeon itself is not that bad, I would think, if I remember correctly. I guess it's kind of hard because it's relatively long. There's like revivers and stuff like that. I think the main is warps and damage walls. And then you want to bring water monsters, but you know, you have to bring a fire and no damage wall monster in there as well. So most people bring like Yamato Takeru, and for the fire, no damage wall monster would be like Avalon or something like that. I just needed more time for Avalon because I did beat her, but I needed more time to get the drop. Sadly, I didn't get the drop, but I'll get it sometime in the future. I'll bring the OPs and stuff like that. When I was playing Avalon, I was basically like, why would I bring Yamato Takeru when, you know, I already done videos of that already? So I just basically like, screw it, let's bring some really wacky parties, and then, you know, I didn't have the time to get the, get the drop. But I didn't even get Izanami, the 3 Izanamis yet, so, you know, there's always that. Okay, let's thank you for the Himiko. Oh, but I'm pretty sure everybody's going crazy in JP right now. So, JP, I guess I'll start with the light news first. Karma. Karma is the light war god of the anime franchise. So, the war god series is Doom, Nirvana, Memento Mori, and then the final boss is Karma. Why there's no dark war god, who knows? Maybe there's some dark war god in the near future, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. That'll happen. But yeah, Karma. If they go really canon, they would make Oregon really, really OP for that dungeon. But everybody's going crazy over the movie hatcher. So basically, it is 7 movie monsters. There's going to be 5 reskins of existing monsters and 2 new monsters. The 2 new monsters is Epka. Epka is a 5-star monster that is basically just a 5-star monster. Cannot be a 6-star monster. And, you know, can't evolve, can't ascend, and all that stuff. So, you know, she's probably like those troll monsters for people. And then there is Mr. Alternate Orative. I don't really remember. Orative Dragon. I usually say like alternative dragon because that's basically how you say it in Japanese if you translate to English. But you know, he's Oregon, so you have to bring like Orative Dragon or Orative Dragon. And basically he's in the hatcher, he's finally in the 6-star form, and there are some, you know, people raging because he's hatcher only. And what they're going to do, they don't even know. There is no plans for the free one that you get, the free Oregon that you get, whether he can evolve to a 6-star or something like that. And you know, people are really sad or raging about no Oregon, for like no 6-star Oregon for the movie, because the one in the hatcher is basically the movie monster, the 6-star movie monster. So who knows, maybe they'll bring up something. Next week is the last episode of the movie. It's the very last one on the movie, and but very last episode of the whole series, and then it's before the movie as well. So maybe there'll be something with Oregon. Probably when you probably seen the anime episode, so maybe there's something with Oregon there. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. I'm recording this on Friday like usual. And the 5 reskins is Arthur, Ascended Arthur, Transcended Roma, Transcended Snow White, Evolve Amatsushiro, and then Evolve Napoleon. So people are happy because, you know, the artwork is really cool. It looks really nice, looks better than the originals. And some people are sad because, number one, they're basically saying there is no transcendent form for Arthur, Napoleon, or Amatsushiro, just because the Hatcher monsters are reskins of the Evolve or the Ascended version. So that's basically saying no to the new transcendent form, where people basically been somewhat hoping that they'll get a transcendent form for the movie, and from the looks of it, it won't happen unless Mixi are really greedy and saying, hey, we're going to release these really cool looking reskins of the movie monsters, and then we're gonna transcend them, gonna give them transcensions, but the reskins will never be able to transcend to that monster, and it's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot of complaints on that side if that ever happens. But there's other monsters, so you know, don't fret. There's some other monsters in the movie that are not in the Hatcher. One being Gabrielle. If Gabrielle gets a transcendent, then you know the world ends. People are gonna say like the game's over because, you know, why make an OP even more OP? And then there's also Kagutsuchi, which is, for some people who don't know, is an 3DS monster from the 3DS version of Monster Strike, and he is super strong in the 3DS version. So maybe he'll come, but in some shape or form. Maybe Hatcher, maybe farmable. But I've read this. I read like comments about Kagutsuchi like hundreds and hundreds of times. Kagutsuchi will never be as OP as the 3DS version. 100% will not be as OP as the 3DS version. For people who don't know how OP is the 3DS version, basically he's a no gravity bearing monster, and he has 2 elemental slayers. I think it's fire and wood, or no, it's light and wood. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, that's not the most OP part. Bump combo. Let me choose my friend. Any good friends? Any good friends? Any good friends? Let's use Arthur. Bump combo is a self-command strike shot type thing. So if an ally bumps into you, then he starts moving by himself, and of course he'll deal damage and stuff like that. So that's crazy. Of course he doesn't. It's not the same multiplier as a normal command strike shot. It's a little bit less. Probably get like 2 or 3 bounces, and that's gonna be it. But you know, you still deal damage and all that stuff, which is really crazy. But the most OP part is the strike shot. Oh my god, I missed my gauge. It's the strike shot, and the strike shot is he becomes a pierce monster, so it's like a piercing strike shot. But there is one catch, and basically there is 0 speed reduction. So for monsters like, as you see with Viridandi, when you hit a monster like normally, like even without Viridandi, like when you hit a normal monster, like even a scorpion or whatever, your speed reduces by a lot. It's a percentage, and why people hate power type monsters is because the speed reduction for power type monsters is a lot more than all the other types. But besides that, anyways, for Kagutsuchi's Strike Shot, he becomes a Pierce monster, and he gets 0 reduction on when he gets in contact with an enemy. 0%. Like, he doesn't lose speed when he when he hits people. Of course, his speed does go down because he's moving. Like, it's like basically going wall to wall without hitting anything. And of course, it is a piercing strike shot, so he gets a speed multiplier as well. So I think I should show it like right here, if I can get a good shot. So basically, Kagutsuchi will be going like this for the whole strike shot. And even if there's a even if 47 Ronin is right there in the middle of that map, she will not lose speed. Verdun will not lose speed. So that's how crazy Kagutsuchi is. But like I said, 100% will never be like that in the main game, because that is broken as hell. And I even think it's I wouldn't say it's as broken as Gabrielle, but it's on Gabrielle level. It's on par, I guess, but it will never be surpassing Gabrielle, in my opinion, because the bump combo is not that crazy good. And of course, Kagutsuchi is only a no gravity bear monster, so you know, sucks in no damage wall no damage wall dungeons and all that stuff. But the strike shot is crazy. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Get the magma resistance, and there goes that Akodoshi. No, not Akodoshi. 47 Ronin. Okay, second bar. But yeah, and then what else is this? Oh yeah, last one. Harley Transcension. Harley and Harley Egg Transcension. It comes out next week, so, and I have both Harleys in my JP account, so I'm super happy. Hopefully it will be really good. There's a lot of variables in the stats they gave out, because it's all because of multipliers and stuff like that. So Harley is a weak spot slayer, so whenever she hits a weak spot, it does 2 times more damage. And then it's a weak spot slayer M, so that's why it's 2 times more damage. And then Minesweeper M, and then no damage wall. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And then bump combo is weak spot lock on shockwave, so same thing as Skuyomi 0. So whenever a boss has a weak spot out, then it'll shoot out 5 shockwaves towards that direction to the weak spot. Of course, it's a straight line, so if there's something in between that straight line, like a mob or whatever, then of course it'll hit the mob first. And what else is there? And then Giga Blast for the bump combo, so support as well as damage. Then Strike Shot is she increases speed, and then same thing as her Ascension, deals more damage onto weak spot attacks. Of course, it's better because she gets the speed boost along with it. Please tell me I won't die. Please tell me I don't die. Please tell me I don't die. I did grab the heart, so it's okay. But, you know, it's really sketchy. Really sketchy. That's why 47 Ronin is hard. Okay, there's the summon. And basically, very Dundee. If this was Kagutsuchi, then she basically runs through the whole screen for like 5-6 seconds. For 5-6 seconds. It's crazy. Of course, it's really bad in practice if you're trying to farm. But you know, when you're trying to take care of like a Kushinada, you can just Kushinada, you can stretch out Kushinada, and you can probably break that 8 million HP bar with one strike shot. If you go like in a straight line. It's pretty ridiculous if for Kagutsuchi strike shot. But yeah, Harley, and then yeah, it's really good. You know, double nulls, and then a Slayer as well. She is a power type, so she is super slow. I'm not sure how slow, but you know, And she's also a bounce monster. People wanted her to be Pierce because, you know, easy access to the weak point, but that would be too OP in my opinion. And then Harley X. Harley X is... There's a lot of variables with Harley X. Let me try to find a good monster to bring first. No damage wall, no damage wall. Let's bring another Arthur there. But no damage wall, and not no damage wall. No gravity barrier for Harley X. No block, and then strike shot reducer. Bump combo is flare and 8-way laser, so not that bad. Like flare has been getting some popularity because of Nicole, and her blast is really and her flare is really strong because she's a blast type. If you get close to an enemy, then you know they basically like die for the most part. And then, but of course Harley X is a power type, so the damage is going to be less than a blast type, but it should be relatively strong. It should be the same as Akala in terms of damage for the flare. And then strike shot is new, and this is the biggest variable. So it's a 25 turn strike shot, and then it's +5 for her second gear, so 25 first gear, 30 for second gear. And basically she reduces her speed, and then it will deal a volatile blast when she bashes onto the first contacted enemy. So it's like she reduces speed, then it's a blast SS with the volatile blast instead of like sweatshot, laser, or whatever. And you know, it's a very big variable because it is a 30 turn strike shot. You lose your speed during that shot to gain more, basically probably deal a lot of damage. So people are thinking Harley, like normal Harley, has more use because of course you kind of imagine what she does in terms of her damage, like weak points slayer, like giant multipliers with a weak point slayer, and then minesweeper. So if she has a mine, then that'll deal more damage, and then with the strike shot, with the same strike shot as the Ascension, even more damage. So you can see the you can imagine how much damage she can do, right? Because, well, you can probably not imagine the number, but you can imagine that it's going to be really big. But for Harley X is really hard to imagine because, you know, it's like a bash strike shot, right? Like, people thought Hiei's strike shot was relatively good because, you know, because he is a Hatcher monster. Like, people imagine it to be good because they're fans of the anime or the manga, and it's really good in that world. But it's only a 1.8 million damage strike shot, and that's on a demon. That is on a demon, so it procs with slayers as well, I'm pretty sure. And it does 1.8 to Toguro, and when you break that down, it's not that strong. And of course there is a diminishing effect of him being asleep, even though sleep is really easy to recover. But still, he's a Hatcher monster, and what does 1.45 does 1.45 to a normal monster that is not a demon. So, you know, that's why Harley X, you have to really use her to get a feel of how much damage she does. Of course, I'll be using her very soon, hopefully. I might bring her to like tower for one or two floors and see how that works. Because, like, you know, I'm sure it's gonna be a really good nuke. Like, if it's like 3 million or above, then I would say Harley X is definitely better than normal Harley. If it's a 3 million nuke, she's also a strike shot reducer, so you can probably get that 30 turn strike shot relatively quickly. And a 3 million nuke is really strong, and it is a volatile blast, so you can proc other bump combos and stuff like that. Of course, there's the other variable of how big that volatile blast is. And I'm just imagining like Lapis Lazuli Volatile Blast, which is size-wise is around a Volatile Blast M. I wouldn't say it's the same size as like a Volatile Blast L, but it's around Volatile Blast M size, and of course it procs bump combos and stuff like that, so that deals more damage and whatever. But you know, it comes next week, so you'll have a chance to use her, and I'm pretty sure one of those two forms will be super OP for Karma. Karma comes on the 9th, Harley and Harley X comes on the 8th of December. So I better get going in terms of transcending. You know, I'm pretty sure I have all the materials. I have all the dragon gems because I hardly use dragon gems. Because I hardly, the most recent ones, like I didn't have a Siegfried, I don't have a Hanzo, and I did have a Snowblow. So that's a transcension that I did recently, but that's like a month ago. So, but this month, 2 out of whatever, how many much left in terms of the December transcensions. And should I do one more run? Should I do one more run? I guess I shouldn't. Because my voice is dying right now. I've been talking for the whole day. Like videos and stuff like that. Okay. But that's pretty much it for 47. No, I'm probably not going to max luck it. I'm just doing it just for the video. Probably won't max luck it. But she's relatively good. She's really good for Daochan, which is the next series in Three Kingdoms number 2. So you can bring that. So that's really good. And who else is there? And you can probably bring her to... can't really bring her to Muramasa. But, you know, there's like 1 or 2 dungeons that's good for 47 Ronin. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.